Have you heard the latest about Donald Trump's new tariffs? If not, this is something you need to know because it could impact your wallet, your business, and even the economy as a whole. Let's break down what just happened and why it's important. In March 2025, former US President Donald Trump introduced new tariffs. These major shifts could shake up North American markets. On March 4th, Trump imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods. Canadian energy products faced a lower 10% tariff. Energy is vital, so the lower tariff kept the pressure manageable. Canada didn't just sit back and take it. In response, they slapped 25% tariffs on $30 billion worth of American goods. This means US businesses selling products to Canada are now facing higher costs, which could get passed on to consumers like you. But Trump later adjusted these tariffs. Goods that meet the rules of the USMCA, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, were eventually exempted, so companies following trade guidelines had some breathing room. Now let's talk about steel and aluminum. On March 12, 2025, Trump introduced a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports. This was one of the more controversial moves because these materials are critical in industries like construction, manufacturing, and even transportation. At one point, Trump even threatened to raise that 25% tariff to 50% for Canadian steel and aluminum. However, that idea was later scrapped, likely due to concerns about economic backlash and rising costs. This move sparked heated debates across industries. For example, car manufacturers rely heavily on steel and aluminum. With higher import costs, production costs could surge, making vehicles more expensive for consumers. In construction, the increased costs for metal materials could lead to higher prices on new homes and commercial buildings. But Trump's tariff strategy didn't stop at North America. He imposed a 20% tariff on Chinese goods, escalating tensions. Electronics, clothing, and household goods could see price increases. The EU responded with counter-tariffs on American exports, targeting agriculture, motorcycles, and bourbon whiskey. Now, let's discuss Trump's reciprocal tariffs policy. This policy matches tariffs that US trading partners place on American goods. For example, a 15% tariff on US products would be met with a matching tariff. The goal is to level the playing field. Critics argue this risks damaging relationships with key allies. Economists warn of an endless trade war, harming businesses and consumers. But what does all this mean for the average person? These new tariffs have already had significant ripple effects. Markets have become more volatile, with investors unsure about how global trade will unfold. Industries that rely heavily on imports, such as car manufacturing, home building, and even the tech sector, could see rising costs. And guess what? When businesses pay more, they usually pass those costs on to consumers. For example, if car manufacturers face higher steel costs, you may soon notice higher prices on vehicles at your local dealership. If builders face rising costs for aluminum, expect construction projects to slow down or home prices to increase. Even your weekly grocery bill could be affected as tariffs on imported food products make their way through the supply chain. Canada and the European Union have pushed back hard by introducing their own counter-tariffs, and Mexico is planning to do the same. This creates a domino effect that puts even more strain on international trade. Many experts are warning that this escalating tension could hurt global economic stability. Some even predict that if these trade disputes continue, it could push major economies closer to recession. Trade wars like this have historically led to economic downturns. If companies face rising costs and struggle to sell their products internationally, they may be forced to reduce hiring, cut wages, or even lay off employees. This kind of ripple effect could impact families across North America and beyond. The big question now is whether Trump's aggressive tariff strategy will achieve its intended goal, or if it's a gamble that could backfire and hurt the very economy it's meant to protect. What are your thoughts on these new tariffs? Do you think they'll strengthen the US economy or create more challenges? I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more insights on politics, trade, and economic updates. Let's keep the conversation going.